Well, for being 85, I think I've had a pretty good run, and I feel very fortunate to have lived in an era that probably saw one of the most interesting advancements in automotive competition. And it's a relatively small segment of what's really going on in the world, but I must say that I've enjoyed it and have watched a lot of changes. And most important, I had a chance to work with a lot of really great people who made changes in the world and made changes in the world of motorsports. I think the major highlights in my life is working for some really interesting people in every area. Certainly my first job working for Bill Mitchell at GM was great because it gave me a chance to see how large corporations work and how important a strong-minded individual with great ideas and direction can really change things. And that was Bill Mitchell. He didn't necessarily go along with the management decisions of what to do with the automotive design. And yet he created probably the greatest era of automotive design through GM. And we all benefited from that. And then second, certainly working for Carroll Shelby was a great opportunity that he gave me. And even though I didn't get to drive for him, which I always wanted to do, having a chance to do some design work for him and build cars that we raced in Europe against Ferrari and Jaguar and Aston Martin was really probably a great experience with all that travel and seeing how the world works from the other side. Working with Mr. Katayama was probably the greatest automotive executive I think I've ever worked for, because he was such a kind gentleman and yet he had such incredible power, and he had the wiseness to allow people that he thought had particular skills or understood what they were doing. He let them do what they wanted, and as a result became very successful himself on the basis of their decisions and designs, and allowing people to understand what a great cars could be built out of Japan. He really he changed the whole world in that regard and brought Japanese automobiles to a greater level of respect in the rest of the world. Leading the BRE team was probably more fun than anything I've ever had to do, maybe except for flying hang gliders. I think the team spirit that we had there and building the cars for John Morton to win the C Production National Championship and the 2.5 Trans Am Championship. And this was in an era before racing had gone really top professional, so most of the money at that time was being spent in production car racing, so that's why it was very important at that era. And it just phased out at the end. I think that our success forced a lot of other manufacturers out of that particular era into doing something else, and left Nissan, Datsun with a great reputation, and certainly for all the guys at BRE that helped build those cars. Hang gliding was probably more fun than anything else that I ever did in my life, because we saw the whole spirit of aviation reinvented with hang gliders, with the flex wings foot launch gliders. Man has always wanted to fly, and having the opportunity to be able to fly, for just a few dollars in building a hang glider, and leave the earth and fly thousands of feet, hours on end, was probably, I think, the greatest achievement that we have happened during that era. We saw the whole development of foot launch flight from just flying off the little sand dunes down at the beach in Playa del Rey moving over to flying off the mountains over Lake Elsinore, which is maybe about 1,300 foot altitude, and then learning how to thermal and climb and go distances, and then moving out into much higher areas, so that we were eventually competing worldwide, and had our own team, built our own gliders with the UPs gliders, and competed all over the world, in South America and in Europe, certainly in Japan. It was probably more fun than anything else I've ever done. I don't think there's anything that's quite as thrilling as hooking into a thermal and climbing several thousand feet and being able to fly with eagles. Hey, the best thing that's going on right now is I'm still getting design cars, and may even get to design a new production automobile, working for some people across the water, and having a chance to get back and use all the skills that I've learned in automotive design over the years, and to apply those particular arts to sculpting a new automobile, which is really art. It's body design, not engineering from the chassis, but also having to work with some great engineers in terms of structure, design, and being able to put a body on those things and create an automobile that is, I think, going to be probably more fun to drive than anything else that I've done yet. I don't know if there's any key to any youth or energy. Just try not to do anything bad to your body, and if you do anything, at least compensate for it by doing something good. You know, it's hard to stay away from some of the things that are enjoyable, but may not be good for you. But if you do, certainly compensate by taking some time off and not doing it a while, and just, you know, be careful what you eat. Not going to retire ever. You know, retiring is strictly it's a slow form of death. I think if you always retain some interest in doing something, and constantly learning about something new and doing something new is probably more fun than anything else. I think that there were some great philosophers a long time ago that taught me that the more you know, the less you know. And that leaves a lot more to learn in the world, and I'm looking forward to doing that.